now tuned in to the Free Play Media Podcast Network.
We are live. Chris Denman and Jeff Jones sitting in today. Joe Stapleton joining us. We will chat with him in just a second. You guys got to check out Presence Float Center. Promo code WAL. Get your sensory deprivation tank on. Again, Presence Float Center right here in St. Louis, Missouri. Joined by Joe Stapleton. What's up, Joe? Nice to talk to you, man.
Nice to talk to you guys. I love how you said my name at the beginning with, like, not even a snicker or, like, a pause for everyone to go, who? You made me feel like a real person. Thanks.
You're doing very well, man. You're in comedy. You're commentating. Jeff was telling me all about your gig with poker tournaments and commentating those. How did you work your way into those? And that could be a very elementary question, but I find that to be interesting with today's state of entertainment, media, things like that. You can find something you love or something you're pretty damn good at and then get paid for it easier than I think you can or you could have any other time in recent memory, really.
Yeah, I mean, there is this tremendous ability out there now to self-publish. And so all of these creative endeavors that you used to have to wait for like a 1 in a million shot, now they're like 1 in 100,000.
Which is slightly better odds, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly better odds. It's still slim and you still have to work hard, but like, yeah, you know, you've got, in a sense, I'm glad that self-publishing was just becoming a thing when I was coming up because there's so much competition now.
Right.
And, you know, to the early part of your question, you know, there was a while that I wasn't doing all the things that I love to do, and you know, I kind of think I got here what I like to call upward failing.
That's a good way to. That's a good way to fail.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know, I moved to LA because I wanted to be a comedy writer, and I wanted to be secretly want to be an actor, but I was embarrassed. Right. So I wouldn't admit to it. So I was like, no, I just want to be a writer, which is like more respectable. And
there's a quiet dignity to it.
Yeah, exactly. And no one in Hollywood gave a fuck about me at all. And then poker, I started working as like a blogger and a journalist, and I was like the funny poker guy, and there was no one else doing it, luckily. So I didn't even really have to be that good at it. I just had to like keep doing it, and eventually people started paying me for it. I always say I was like the stray dog that poker fed one time, and then I just kept coming back forever.
See, you say that, and you say you just started in it, and there was no one else doing it. Today, we have you on. You're in New York today, but flew back yesterday, right, from Rosvedov. Like, it's pretty crazy. I feel like to go from that perspective, like moving to LA, like, hey, I'm going to write comedy, to all of a sudden now, like working with Poker Stars, you are traveling all across Europe for a good part of the year. Like, it's got to be a pretty unbelievable place to find yourself.
It is, and I'm like really grateful for things like these types of interviews and for people that can kind of remind me how great that really is. Because you know, like any other job, you eventually sort of become more immune to the really great things about it and more sensitive to the not so great things about it. And when someone reminds me, like, hey, like you travel the world and get to like be a clown in front of. Turns out, by the way, it's millions of people. I were just seeing some of the numbers back from Barcelona, and we kind of crushed it. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that or not, but I'm sure the numbers will come out eventually. So, you know, that part of it is awesome. Is it exhausting, the fact that I've lived out of a suitcase for 5 years? Yes. Was it cute and charming when I had a girlfriend in every city at 29? Yes. Is it cute and charming at 35? No.
No, not feeling the love anymore, huh?
Yeah, you know, it's just all kind of gross. It would be nice to just, you know, have a woman who knows my last name.
That'll happen.
Do you find yourself kind of inundated by that weird, like, casino smell where there's, like, the carpet deodorizer and, like, the internal air? I don't know. It's like, is that a smell that exists in your life? Because I feel like when I go into a casino, that's, like, a distinct odor of, like, the carpet cleaner plus the recycled air, kind of.
I'll say this: of all the casinos I set foot in every year, that's the case for like 2 of them.
Okay.
For the most part, they're taking us to these really gorgeous casinos in Monaco and Barcelona.
Wow.
And this place we were just at in Razvedov is like this Vegas style casino, like in the middle of the Czech woods. So it's oddly enough, it's American casinos that are like really sad.
Okay. So the moral is get out of the U.S. and go travel through Europe, and the casino thing gets a lot more bearable.
A little bit more bearable. It's still full of douchebags. It's just a different kind of douchebag.
Well, I was curious, and that was kind of leading me into where I wanted to go next. Are you seen as I'm trying to think. Is there a positive reaction to you? So you see this, people obviously there's anonymity involved. You can have people flaming you online, different things like that. Being a part of the type of industry that you're a part of, do you find that people enjoy what you do? I mean, do you get to shake hands, say hello to fun, interesting people that are fans, or is it more, are people critical? I see it in mixed martial arts all the time. People are very critical and very armchair quarterback, to steal from football, about commentating. I mean, does the humor aspect of what you do allow for that to be muddied a little bit? Like, hey, let's give him a break. He's here for entertainment and some analysis. I guess, how do you deal with people, or what is your experience with people involved in the poker world?
Well, I think that it feels like there's many layers to that question. In general, I get some hate, right? Let's call it some. We'll call it some X amount of hate that I get. And that amount, it affects me from time to time, and it comes in like maybe, when I'm on the air, maybe like once or twice a day, which sounds like a lot. But compared to the world, I get like a negligible amount of hate.
Good.
It is like, and of course, because I'm a comedian, I'm a performer, I'm like a sensitive little bastard that takes every single comment to heart every single time. Even with that being true, I get so little hate. People are so kind to me. Most people get it. And I'm not going to lie, I often will retweet hate. 1, because I find it funny. 2, because it's my way of like, this is my word now. Like, this is me taking ownership of this. And 3, the other people who are fans of mine, who are just unbelievably loyal, will all fucking attack that person. And I enjoy that. I enjoy watching the aftermath of me sicking the fans on them.
So, we talk about like the poker world as its own insular thing. Obviously, you're involved in stand-up as well. The comedy world maybe is a thing. I mean, is there a clash for you between those two parts of what you do? I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like the poker thing for you represented a career opportunity that blossomed into maybe more than you wanted it to be, or more than you expected that it would be, I guess. And so now you're sort of getting back to wanting to really do comedy. I mean, like, is there a friction between the two for you?
There isn't yet, and that's because all the people that I work with are incredibly supportive and want me to succeed outside of poker, both on a personal level and also I think they understand that a certain amount of crossover appeal for Joe Stapleton probably can't hurt their products that much unless I become like the N-word comedian. So like, it hasn't clashed for that reason just yet. I think that, and I don't think that anyone could possibly take offense to this, is that poker, there's a ceiling for what I'm doing in poker. Norman Chad and Lon McCarran, that's probably the ceiling. Would there maybe be some sort of crossover Blade-like half vampire, half human being who can sort of move out of the poker world and have like a prime time poker show success? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, never know when Rounders 2 could come around. You could have a bit part in that.
You can do the Gabe Kaplan where you go back and forth.
But we're talking about bit part being the ceiling. So
I say bit part, but maybe it would be memorable. I don't know. No, that's a great point though. That if you do succeed in one, there's a much higher probability of you continuing to fail upward and selling out a theater, getting a special on Netflix, moving in that direction. I guess then to your point of poker's it has its limitations.
Right, exactly. And there's no reason I can't do both because,
True.
The two lifestyles are very similar. I actually say comedy's a lot like poker in that, like, your competition is also your friend.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And you're secretly hoping that they fail. Like,
So, okay, how long have you been doing stand-up?
I've been doing stand-up. I've been taking it seriously for since early 2013, however many years that is. I guess a little over 4 years.
That's
3 years. I'm not really good at math.
It's a good thing you're involved in poker then.
But, like, I did it for exactly. We got computers for that shit.
Sure.
I like to see a computer come up with one of my terrible one-liners. It can't yet. So when I first moved to LA as a production assistant on this show called Mad TV,
Oh, yeah.
and as a guy that wanted to be a comedy writer, I was just like, like all the time. Key and Peele were on Mad TV. Frank Caliendo was on Mad TV. Ike Barinholtz, Bobby Lee was on Mad TV.
Brian Callen,
and
Will
Bobby,
Sasso.
Artie Lang.
Yeah.
Yep, those guys were gone by the time I got there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I meant, like, Will was around a lot. He was an absolutely stellar guy, just as funny in person. So Bobby Lee worked there, and Bobby's, like, one of, like, the most prolific, like, touring stand-ups in the country. And he was like, hey, you want to do stand-up? And I was like, yeah, I kind of do. He's like, good. When you getting up? And I was like, oh, no. He's like, no, you're getting up soon. And about, like, 3 weeks later, he came and he was like, your name's on the list for this Sunday night at the Comedy Store for you to perform. If you don't go, I will never speak to you again.
Oh, there you go. Comedy Store, your first time on stage. That's an easy crowd.
It was a Comedy Store open mic, right? So,
Sure.
it wasn't like a sold-out show or anything. But still, it was intimidating, and it was horrific. It was really, really bad. And it took me almost 10 years to get up again.
Wow.
So I was like 20 or 21 when that happened. I think I didn't get up on stage again until I was 28 or 29.
Wow. So given the amount that you travel during the year, I mean, have you taken, like, have you stood up and done stand up at any sort of, I don't know, like, non-English speaking places, right? Like, are there opportunities for you to do stand up in Barcelona or Prague or wherever else across Europe? Or are you sort of balancing that schedule with, when you're back in the States?
There are definitely places in cities like that, Barcelona, Amsterdam, Paris, Berlin, where you can, there's a thriving scene for English comedy. Mm-hmm. The problem is that there, is a reasonable amount of admin that you need to be able to handle as a stand-up comic. And that is somewhere where my two jobs do clash a little bit, in that I'm so busy on the road that juggling, like, calling up, doing the legwork on calling a bunch of stand-up comedy places in Barcelona,
Yes.
to see if maybe they have, like, a one night that overlaps while I'm there. It's a lot of legwork that I always say is actually one of my flaws at this point is that, when I was young, I worked a lot harder and I was more hungry. And so I was like 24/7 working toward the next thing. Now, I've got a fairly successful career and it exhausts me. And so when I get home from like a 20-something day trip, which is what this will be, I don't want to get on the horn and, like, start calling a bunch of club owners and sending them videos. Like, I'm not very motivated, and that's either got to change or it's going to hurt me because I'm kind of spinning my wheels a little bit.
On a lower level, I mean, we do comedy shows and we get to work with a ton of comics, and we love the live performance aspect of it and have had some success with it. At the same time, we do a morning radio show 4 hours, 5 days a week. We do a full-time podcast. We do all our sales. We do all our booking. And then whenever that open mic rolls around where all your comedian buddies like, hey, why don't you come out and work out some of the stuff? You got it down. You're like, well, or I could fucking sleep. It sucks.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
something you got to love, and the live performance aspect is so fun. But getting up there and not sucking and knowing you're giving it your best, that's a whole different ballgame too.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys get it, that. And, those are the things. I'm not going to say that is exactly a recipe for success. The people who end up becoming successful first, even people who aren't super talented, are the people who are just inhumanly dedicated.
Very true.
To the thing they're going for. And I am at the moment humanly dedicated. And that I don't really turn things down, but it's just hard for me to constantly be trying to drum up new stuff. So I've been doing really well word of mouth. There's this comic out in New York City named Clayton Fletcher who went deep in the main event a couple of years ago.
Is he a St. Louisan? I feel like maybe he is actually.
Is he what?
I think he might be. I think he might be from St. Louis actually. Clayton Fletcher.
He's from Maryland.
Oh, okay. Then I was way wrong.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Not
Jeff.
even.
Come on.
Not even close. Why did I think that? Now I'm fucked up.
Yeah, that's all right.
His mother's actually like a cash game grinder.
Oh, yeah?
in Maryland.
Is she a Maryland?
Yeah.
Is she a Maryland Live person?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I lived in DC for a year, so I was there right as they were opening the MGM in DC. So there's like a whole, I don't know, I guess that's a whole Jets and Sharks thing now out there.
Yeah, it's apparently a pretty cool scene at Maryland Live. So Clayton, has been like a working, like a 5-night-a-week paid gig stand-up comic in New York for a while now. And he knew of me because of poker, and he gave me stage time immediately. And now, so like in LA, I'm like playing coffee shops, like open mics, like it's just terrible. Like the word, like I'm talking daytime stand-up comedy in LA. And then in New York, Clayton's got a night at like, it's not the Comedy Cellar, but it's 2 doors down from there, and it's not, it's a nighttime show, and it's set up like a comedy club.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows I'm going to sell like between 10 and 20 tickets every time I come. So, plus I think he thinks I'm a decent comic. So every time I'm in New York, he puts me on. So I'm squeezing in a set on Friday night at the Greenwich Village Comedy Club, and it's just such a big opportunity for me to actually play a place that says Comedy Club.
For
on
sure.
the door.
Well, keep it up, man. I know it's a ton of work, and I look forward to seeing you grow more with it. So so we're talking about ceilings and different ways to go, and you have a kind of a once in a lifetime gig working in the capacity that you do. What is the plan to go more full into stand-up comedy? Or are you gonna maybe see if there's some kind of a unique opportunity that comes along that involves poker / being a quick-witted talent?
Yeah, well, I mean, unfortunately, at this point, no matter how good an idea I have for a show, unless it's something that is poker or gambling related, like they don't really care because
plenty of reality shows though.
There's going to be a show coming out pretty soon called Troll Hunter, where people track down online trolls and like confront them. And I've been pitching that show for like 4 years with the exact same title, and nobody wants to give me that shit because I don't have any credibility in that area. They're like, oh, well, do you have experience catching trolls? And I'm like, no, I just do this poker thing. And they're like, oh, we love poker stuff. Bring us some poker stuff. So, that's kind of what, unfortunately, so if I'm going to need to come up with something, that is a crossover that does call on my expertise to get my foot in the door of these places. And I would love that. God, I'm afraid to tell you this. I have like this slam dunk idea for a show, but I'm afraid to say it. Whatever. You can't pass
what you got? What you got? What you got? We're ready for it.
Here's what I want to do. Me, Norm Macdonald, road tripping across America, trying to win our way, grinding 1-2, and doing stand-up at like really awful casinos at nighttime.
I kind of love that. Yeah. Like
Norm doesn't drive either, so you would be driving the entire time, which brings another comedic element to that.
Absolutely.
He doesn't have a driver's license, so I'm into that, and I think that you would only be able to highlight too. And you said crappy casinos, yeah. The special ones, or maybe there are some kind of goofy games like you saw in Vegas Vacation. The guessing how many numbers or fingers they're being held up behind someone's back, something of that sort. You and Norm Macdonald,
yeah,
I'm into that.
Yeah, just these two degenerates. The old comic who's like one of the funniest people on the planet, the young and up and coming guy. At this point, my guess is my poker knowledge is probably a little more extensive than his. His comedy knowledge is absolutely like annihilates mine. So, we've got this, I can be criticizing his play. He can be criticizing my set from the night before.
It could be fun, too, like, make you guys only play, like, 2-4 limit or, like, 4-8 Omaha 8 or something, like, something ridiculous where you have to grind out, like, $3 an hour.
Yeah, just like, I don't want to put it this way in the future, but, like, just sad things, like just eating in sad restaurants.
Yes,
right. People who are in the casino at 8:30 on a Tuesday morning.
Right. Really commenting on the condiments that are available in the cafeteria.
Complaining about what the comps are getting them.
Living on the cheap, like eating as much free food as possible. Like my buddies, when we first started playing poker, used to play at the Mirage exclusively because we knew at 5 o'clock in the morning they would put sandwiches out.
My roughest start, and I'm not too much of a gambler, but I would go, and in Missouri, around college time for me, they had loss limits. They've since done away with them. But
Shit.
You could only lose $500. So our dumbasses would work at a bar and then, hey, we'll drive to the casino. And they have to be on a river, which makes complete sense, right? I mean, that makes it safe. We would go, and then we would have our 500. We would have our loser sandwich at the end of the night, which means they would comp us a sandwich. It's a different setup. They're not exactly about the hospitality because they got you in here and they don't have to compete with other casinos in the area. Your sandwich would essentially cost you $500 at 5 a.m. after you lost all your money, and they gave you that. So not a high point in my
We've
my
all
life.
had $75 beers, like just waiting at a blackjack table.
Yes. Exactly. That nailed it, man. Well, thank you so much for joining us, man. If you're ever coming through St. Louis, you have to come do the show live. We'd love to have you on.
Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I feel like this was all about me.
No, that's what it's supposed to be about.
It's your name on the podcast. It's We Are Live featuring Joe Stapleton today. You're the headliner.
That's right. Follow him online at Stapes on Twitter as well. Joe, don't be a stranger, my friend.
Guys, this is so much fun. Anytime, I can be your Al Roker if you want.
I love it. We can get
We need a weather guy.
Road update. Yeah, what's the weather like? Well, wherever you're at this week, Joe.
You know what? That's a good bit. Instead of doing St. Louis weather, we do like the Joe Stapleton weather. Hey, Joe, what's the weather?
Yes.
Well, I'm in fucking Monaco.
It's 72 degrees, just like it was last time, because I'm inside a fucking casino.
Enjoy it. Thanks a ton, Joe.
Thank you, guys.
Hope you enjoyed that. Welcome back. We got Jada and Travis in the house now. What's up, guys?
Hello. Travis, are you
I'm
happy?
Marlon Wayne.
No, we already
That's not where I did that part.
started the show already.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Marlon
Jeff and I
Wayne.
talked to Joe Stapleton. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad.
Oh, did you guys have a great
glad you
conversation
two
with your
weren't
friend?
involved. Yeah,
You know
I did.
what? I'm sure it was hilarious.
Jada, what's on your mind? What's going on? It's a beautiful day. We got Lou Fest this weekend. You can check us out. We'll all be in various parts of the park, but we're also going to be helping out the Vest Tent. Partners of ours for St. Louis Live, has nothing to do with the Uncensored podcast. I'll say that right now. Also, Barrel Beard and Tattoo. We got a beard oil. How's that beard
It
looking?
seems like everybody's growing their beard out now that
Yeah.
we got beard oil. It looks
Yeah.
good.
I feel like a
That's
man.
right. Barrel Beard
Finally.
and Tattoo.
I'd
Yeah.
love to grow mine, but I had electrolysis.
Good for you. I don't know how well that would work with the film career.
Right?
And I think we need to do this at some point. We have to start simulcasting these bad boys, because the conversation Jada had before she came on the air, and the final thing she said before poor Hefe finally hit record was, "Hey, my mic smells like a dick." So now that
Yeah, we're working in the back of the studio at the radio station, No Shock City today. But do you feel like that was accurate, Travis?
Here's my thing. There are various smells to dicks. So my question is, what is the smell of dick according to Jada?
I think it's just more of a figure of speech.
Oh.
Yeah. So the way, yeah.
So
I don't know
Chanel
if you're
number,
familiar with those.
I'm about to say,
but
so
I think
Chanel
that
number
was
5
more-
isn't coming out with a fragrance called dick this question. Okay.
No, it just smells like a bunch of flesh that has been rubbed together in a sweaty circumstance.
Okay. So like not working out, but you immediately go straight to the crotch.
Yeah. I mean, you think about like, where do you have like fleshy bits rubbing together consistently?
When I'm bench
through-
pressing, when I'm in the gym doing a lot
Doesn't
of
really
benches.
happen, though.
I know.
And what about my
Once
squats?
a year doesn't count, baby.
Yeah.
What about my squats? The squat. You see my calves lately?
I
Pretty
think that's
solid.
the most like flesh, air. How do we say this? Jeff, help. Aeration. Yeah.
So,
So I think that would more aerate the situation than like walking around or running or like using the machines.
would at any point, if you were to say go to someone's house for dinner or just to visit, and you recognize that penis smell, do you let your guests know? Do you let your host know that you smell penis in the air? How
It
do
depends
you,
on how familiar I am with the guests or with the host.
Have you ever walked into an establishment? And the
Yes.
first thing that came in, oh wow, you have walked
Yes.
into an establishment like, there goes that dick smell again.
Yeah, or just like any kind of, it's just like any body part that would maybe cause a little stir in someone if they heard it. Like, oh, this smells like balls. Oh, this smells like my third armpit. Oh,
Where-
this smells like you just get, it's
Okay.
kind of like being a wordsmith, but you just find, you're being a wordsmith, but you're using a bunch of different ways to describe an unfortunate smell with body parts because people
Okay.
can relate to those smelling nasty
So
at some
then
point.
what place do you think on earth you could go where it's absolutely inappropriate to think this place smells like dick? Like, where is the place you can go and be like, I smell dick and I shouldn't because I'm here?
Religious establishment.
I was going to say that.
Oh, I thought you meant like, where would it be inappropriate to say something like that?
Well,
And
I would imagine every place besides here.
Well, I was immediately thinking, I was like, probably like a hospital type setting after like a disaster, a natural disaster. You don't want to be qualifying any of it as a smeller of
Okay.
anything.
Well,
like that
obviously,
is
yeah.
where I would just hold my tongue. But
If you
in
like walk into a
situations-
daycare, I was like, I should not have that smell.
yeah, or
That smell
anywhere
should
like
not be
you're
happening.
walking into like a Red Cross tent where people are a little bit bloody, they're hurting. Like that's probably not the best place to say it smells like dick in here.
I don't think there's a great place to say that at all. I'm just saying, what's the last place you would expect? I would like, I would never walk. I would walk into an Arby's,
Like a
I'd be
Mary
like,
Kay
damn.
party, probably.
Mary Kay party
Yeah,
is
you wouldn't. If someone walked in and was like, "It smells like dick," that wouldn't be accurate.
Chris, at what point do you think if you and your significant other were out on the town and you guys walked into a place, would you ever lean over to her and go, babe, I'm not going to lie, it smells like dick in here?
I don't really like the direction this podcast is going today. It's kind of rough. I get it, and I understand that the two of you combined are dick-smelling experts, but I'm not sure that I'm qualified to be in there. Yeah, I don't. If
You
it
got a
smells like
nose,
that,
buddy?
the lady's calling it out first. I think so, right?
Yes.
Women are so much more efficient and effective. Guys will let things like their back hurt them for 2 years straight. Women will see something wrong and be like, "Why is that way?" Immediately.
That's true.
That is so true.
Especially when it comes to self-care and body care.
For sure.
It's immediate.
Guy will
Like,
walk around with
we
a
need to heal
concussion,
that.
missing an arm, and possibly a ruptured testicle, and won't even give a thought to picking up the phone to call a doctor. Like, we'll figure it out,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But a girl
it's,
can walk in somewhere and go, I smell pussy. Like, wait,
Let me smell you.
babe, we're at a pet store.
but
Relax.
sometimes, yes. But sometimes, yes. And there's also different smells for that part of the body
Women's
too.
locker room pretty rough.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's different. The men's
Good.
locker room is really gnarly.
Yeah,
But this is
that's-
like based
that's
on high
sloppiness.
school, like I
Yeah,
don't know,
that's
what was
different.
that, like 15 years ago?
Yeah, high school.
Yeah, you're pretty
high
old.
School is
We're all literally the same age.
high school is the probably.
we were all born in the same year, right?
Yeah,
Everyone on a mic.
Jeff,
literally the
you're
same age.
84?
Jeff's
Jeff is
old.
not
Jeff
84.
is like 30.
Oh, he's 92?
38.
Oh, he's 87.
Same age as my little brother.
White don't crack. That's what they always say, Chris.
Chubby, bearded, white, don't crack.
Don't crack.
That's how I live.
Put it on a t-shirt.
I
That's what I
like
would
that.
do.
Okay, let's keep talking to Jeff off mic. It's a good thing people didn't hear that. Moving on.
Big week though. for
Lou
the-
Fest this week. It's exciting.
Yay.
Huge for us.
It's huge for us,
So-
the city of St. Louis. It's an event. I believe it's now 5 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it?
I believe it's now 5 years old. I remember when they began the festival, and a lot of people were, I wouldn't say indifferent, were excited, weren't sure what to expect. And a lot of times when these festivals get started, they aren't the world's most organized. They
Right.
tend to lack sponsorship. They tend to lack support. Now it's actually in its 7th year, Lou Fest here in St. Louis, and it has truly become, in a matter of 7 years, a smart prime destination for many musical artists on the festival circuit.
Right.
Yeah.
So considering how, like, my first time was a year ago, and it was so well done, it was so organized, it was just, I was quite impressed again for a festival that at the time was no more than 6 years old, but seeing the support of the entire St. Louis community virtually
Oh,
was
yeah.
what impressed me the most. And because we always talk about that in this city, that, man, it's amazing what this city can do if everyone comes together. And Lou Fest is actually an example of, man, this ain't bad when
Yeah.
people come together.
Totally.
If the weather holds up like last year, you just see a ton of people just not quietly, but relaxed, enjoying themselves, catching the moment. I feel like if it's super hot, you're going to see people like pissy, kind of mad at each other. Last year was a perfect storm. there was a bunch of mud, so that could have impeded people from moving around a bunch. But I don't know. Everybody had such a good attitude last year. You see families, you see normal people. It wasn't like just festival trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I'm a bit. I get a little annoyed with folks like that. So I'm glad. I want people to go enjoy it, but. I don't know. There's like
But
a
that's 'cause
weird.
you don't
There's like a
like
weird.
human beings.
No,
That's
but
what
there's
I was
a weird
like-
culture.
I feel like you just hate
there's a
I'm
weird
pretty sure
culture.
You
that-
could find something you don't like with everything.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at two of them
Hey, now.
right now. on
You
the
mean
mic.
Jeff and Travis?
Yes,
Thanks,
correct.
babe.
Yeah.
But I
How
think
dare
that
say
that also is a testament to the lineup itself as well. I think what you're talking about, I think that's generally based on lineups. Like
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what was your favorite band from the show that you went to?
last year,
Yeah, last
the
year's
band,
fest.
and this is what I love about Lou Fest. I get to see bands that I normally wouldn't listen to. The Big Gigantic were the first time I've seen them live, and then I think Mr. Chris Stapleton was also an
Oh,
appearance
wow.
last year. So also music like those are two artists I wouldn't normally buy tickets to go to their concert.
Right.
But listening to their music, I became fans of.
That's so cool.
So I enjoyed
Yeah.
those. Like
I enjoyed the
acts
Kills last year. Do you know them?
The who?
Uh-huh.
The Kills.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. We don't do that.
So
here,
Lou
Chris,
Fest is like a
especially for
big
St. Louis.
marketing thing too for bands. Like if we look at it under like
Yeah,
that.
it's the
lens.
same people that go on the festival circuit. I guarantee you all these people are doing Lollapalooza,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, Bonnaroo, all that. So you get the same wave of people
Yeah.
where their marketing plans line up with the festival times.
But
too.
then they get more people like Travis who haven't seen them,
What do you
and then
mean,
that
people like
expands their
Travis?
audience.
It means
Well,
good-looking
person
people
Travis-
who loves music. No, I think I know what you're exactly saying.
Yeah, Travis
right over
who was-
Jada's head.
What?
No, I think
No,
what,
I just choose to ignore it.
Oh.
I'm like, not what I meant.
but no, I think what happens, what I
No,
like
yes,
with
and.
Lou Fest, and I hope it continues to do that. I like the, so you got Snoop Dogg coming this time, and that's great. Snoop's a legend. I've seen Snoop a few times, so that makes sense to bring in a guy like that. But I love also that they're bringing Run the Jewels, which has been big on the scene for many years now, but they don't have that mainstream notoriety. And so even if I like this festival and that, I've heard of them. I know they're big in certain circles, so I'm curious to actually hear their sound. I like that in between where Lou Fest is, where you don't have the major acts, which is fine, but you're introduced to music you may have heard of or
Yeah.
heard about. And so therefore you can decide for yourself when you attend a festival like this, whether you'll become fans of them. So I like that aspect. And I like what it does for the city. Again, it brings especially all these small businesses together. That's the thing that I find very unique.
Some
because
local music too.
Oh yeah, and it has a local. Yeah, you have a local feel to it with the local artists here as well. So I like that it walks that line and it does a very good job. And again, as Chris pointed out, I don't know too many music festivals you can go to where you can, at least for the good portion of the day, you can bring children.
That's wonderful.
So that's a testament to this festival. Again, if it's not just for people 21 and older. You can actually bring your kids out.
Yeah, and you wouldn't feel weird. Like if
No.
you brought your like small children to
And people
some music
do.
festivals, I would look at you like you're a moron.
Right.
But it's chill. There's enough space for people. I did get punched by somebody who's probably not punched many people before.
How did you get
last
punched?
year. I made my way through, and I thought it'd be good for our We Are Live Facebook page to do a live stream of LCD Sound System. It was the closing out of Sunday night last year or whatever. And I just did the pardon me, excuse me, sorry. And I just kind of worked my way through the crowd to a better vantage point. And a guy did not care. A girl and a guy through like however many people I made my way through. There's just no way. I get it. They've been there probably for like 3 hours. They want that spot, but I wasn't standing in front of them. And it just made me laugh. I was like, thank God I'm not reactionary really much anymore.
Punched you?
I mean, yeah, but what are we
I would, like,
talking
What
punch
did
your
you do when
arm,
he
punch
did
your-
that?
Boom, hitting the chest. I go, don't, like look down, and I was moving still. I'm not. What am I gonna stop and like fight him? Like,
Yeah.
no. This person probably hadn't punched many people before, or it was a very small. Looked like got mad easy.
So
Well,
you
I'm-
just looked at him and walked.
I was
by
like,
them.
I was like, don't. Just like,
Yeah.
really, like
You just
stop.
dad him.
Yeah.
No, and I
dad
think-
him so hard.
Well,
brings
and
me
I
to
say punch again too, like if a decent sized
So it's like
person
a
or
fist
somebody.
tap.
No, I'm pretty sure he meant a punch, but it was like, come on, man. I don't think we know what's gonna happen here.
Well, that's the thing. That brings me then to festival etiquette.
was I a
that's-
jerk for going through?
No, I don't know.
Oh,
I
that's
feel
what
like-
they are. That's what you do.
So yeah, that's a good question. So what do you do? Like, so I am of the mind that if there's a particular artist that you really want to see, then go post up as early as you think you need to in order to get a good seat. That's what festivals are for. But also under the understanding that there are thousands of people there. So the idea that you have a space or this area is yours, no, we're not inside of a theater. We're not at a stadium.
I'm not talking about standing right in front of you either, like passing by.
Right. And when somebody comes, look, I think the crew of guys that I hang with, the crew of people I hang with, the guys that went to Lou Fest last year, they're former offensive linemen.
Right.
They're former athletes that play college
people.
ball. So they're giant guys.
Right.
So they don't, they just like, hey, if we get close, great. If not, I'm 6'7", I'll be all right.
Right.
If somebody's shorter or smaller or younger wants to get through to a particular artist, let them go through. So that's kind of the mindset with us. But the idea of getting involved in any form of a confrontation at a music festival
or any festival in general.
You're right.
It's like, everyone's
especially
uncomfortable.
The Renaissance Fair, they're so rude.
Well, when I went to Burning Man, it was like the last two.
Of course.
What?
The
Jada going to
last
Burning Man?
two-
I didn't see that coming.
It was wonderful. But the last night
Did you have a boyfriend
so,
at the time?
No, but I didn't. No, okay.
No.
So
I've never been to Burning Man. Let's do a little breakdown of
let's
it.
do it.
Is it out of a movie, like people just like getting freaky everywhere?
No,
I wouldn't think that.
There's
I would-
designated areas for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
like
called your
specifically,
tent
like
or
so
what?
you can
I
wait.
just
So at
imagine a
Burning
bunch
Man,
of
you are
dirty,
allowed
drugged
to.
up idiots getting after it.
I mean, some yes, some no. But yeah, I mean that's a part of it. That's why people go. But I think they find much more when they're there.
Yeah. Herpes.
Well, like there was like this.
You like that trip?
There's a tent for that to scrub it off, Chris.
No,
Relax.
I mean there was like a BDSM tent, but they hosted workshops on it, so you
Yeah,
knew what
it's
you were
more of a-
doing.
yeah.
Then there was like an orgy tent, but men had to have a partner with them. Like they had to have a woman go in with them. It wasn't just like men could attend it themselves.
There's an orgy tent. You talk about places that don't smell great.
And then there was
like
I
who's-
know talking about like dick, right?
Oh, that
And
didn't smell
then
like
there
dick
was
either.
there was like where you could go with your person and just watch other people have like you were. It
Wait,
was a place
So
where
this is quite a big part of the event. Then.
no, it isn't.
Oh, it's not.
I
This is just
couldn't-
one little
So
corner.
Yeah.
this isn't sanctioned by Burning Man associates.
No.
Okay.
Well, no,
Okay.
no. It's not. It's just a thing that's there. But there are so many other things. Like there's tons of sustainable living workshops, and then relationship workshops, and workshops on growing your own food, workshops on like slow food. Like there's so much more going on than just
And
that.
this is in the middle of
But
the
I-
California desert. Is it California?
Oh my gosh, it's Black Rock City, so it's in Nevada.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
but Black Rock City is this city that is built. It's not there all of the time. It's built in the playa.
Okay, now
then
I
they
have
tear
heard
it
that.
down.
Okay, I've
Yeah.
seen that
Yeah.
doc. Okay,
Yeah.
so I saw that part.
So but at Burning Man, it's like a festival. There was 70,000 people there, so technically it was a city, a
Yeah.
literal city.
70,000 people would
And-
just drive me mad, but all right.
So, but our camp, like people next to us, P Diddy's like big like traveling like
Big
motorhome
inflatable
thing.
Ciroc bottle.
There were people that paid like $22,000 were able to go and think they were having like the Burning Man experience, but really they were just in like a mini hotel and they could walk around if they wanted to. So I'm not a fan of that. I think if you're gonna go, you go rough it.
Yeah.
Because it is rough. But
It's called Burning Man.
Right.
exactly.
Like, I don't
See
think-
the guy that ran into the fire?
Yeah, I don't know if that happened the year I was there too.
No. Oh, that happens more than once.
Yeah, there's
just
when
on
I was there,
drugs,
one
lose their
person
mind.
passed away, but I think it was he had a heart attack maybe.
This guy literally just ran into a giant fire.
Yeah, sometimes people
Past
go a little
security.
overboard.
Yeah.
I didn't participate in any drinking or drugs or any
What?
of that. No, I didn't. I didn't have the desire to. I just needed to go explore and like see what this phenomena was.
That's
So
fair.
I was taking photos. I was up with the sun. I went to bed with like as soon as the sun was coming down, and I had a tent to myself. It was
Nice.
just like my own little
Now,
exploration.
Burning Man is a week
It was 9 days. I think.
That's a
9 days.
long
in
time.
the
Yeah.
desert.
And then by the time you adjust to it all is when it's time to leave.
Right.
But like you're not showering, you're not and there's no bacteria there, so the smells aren't really happening because of the playa dust.
that's
So that's
good.
kind of nice. Like if you have
Yeah.
athlete's foot, you go there, by the time you leave it'll be
So
gone.
people don't shower for 9 days while at Burning Man?
Some people don't.
Yeah,
I tried
you're bringing
to.
wipes with you or something.
Yeah, you take wipes, but the biggest thing that sucks is like what sucks about it is you're there and like you want to shower every day and you're trying to shower every day, like I was trying to, and then you just realize how much of an inconvenience it is. So you're like, fuck this. I'm not
So
showering.
there are like literally hours of lines of people trying to shower.
There's like, well, no, I think the rookies. Like I was a rookie, so I was
Okay.
trying to. But the people that I saw that have been there, they're more seasoned. They were just like, just don't do it. If you need to, there's actually places that you can go and someone will bathe you. Like it's everything that you need is there. Like I was
It's just
sleeping.
a matter of necessity if you
Totally.
really want to use it. Yeah.
And I don't know other women's experience, but I was totally safe. Like I was like napping
good.
naked under a tent. I felt totally safe. It was some of the best sleep I've ever had in my life. Just
Interesting.
knowing like the amount of respect that they emphasize for all people, including women there. And that was really, really amazing.
And you did this without any drugs or alcohol.
Without any drugs or alcohol.
yeah, it'd be tough.
Oh, no. One night I
did.
did have a drink. I did have 2 drinks, but it made me sick. And so I just went to bed.
What? Do you just not drink much? Period.
See,
Yeah,
I'm
I
looking
don't.
forward to going to the music festival this weekend because I am going to, as the young people say, get lit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have, I think
You're
I'm
gonna
have,
work and you're gonna be a sober individual on camera, sir.
I will. I was thinking about this.
Yeah,
I
you better check yourself at the door, mister.
You have
I may
stuff
have.
to
I
do.
may have 2 beers.
You might get sick and need to nap.
I may. I don't know. I get 3. I may need to
Eat
take
some
a.
played
Indian
some,
food and nap.
I played some trivia with Jeff Jones last night, and boy, did I need a couple drinks.
Really?
Why?
Yeah, we did well.
Because
I
your
don't know, 'cause
ego?
we're so bit. What
Because your ego?
is that? Where we're going with this right now?
Yeah,
Is
let's
that
go
what you-
there.
It's not,
I
Break it
love
down,
how you
yeah.
deflect. It's
It's
like,
not-
Yeah, get his
it's
ass.
like-
Yeah, break it down.
It's
I
not
don't
the
have an
insane
ego. Is that
schedule.
what you want to do, Jada? You
Is that-
really want to go there?
It's-
Are we
I don't
going to have
know.
a fight?
I don't know. Where's the ego coming from?
I don't know. Everyone has one. I'm just curious about yours.
Oh, I don't know why being tired as shit and needing.
You were tired, or were you answering some of the questions incorrectly? Or
You're
Oh,
on
no, we
Jeff
did
You're
well.
on Jada's
trumping
couch.
Jeff's the
it?
best. Jeff didn't.
You were
drink
on the
at all.
couch. I have my notebook.
Were
out.
you more successful with Jeff or me as your partner in trivia?
Jeff's pretty damn good. Yeah, he answered.
Fuck you, Jeff.
He answered 80% of the questions, but the question would be no. It's so you don't judge Jeff. You say, would you have been better with Jeff than I?
Oh, that's a good point.
There were a few that maybe you would have got, but yeah, we did pretty good for a 2-person team.
I'm a
There
So
were
was
other
it
people
your
Black
first
History
date?
Month, huh? How
No,
well
there were
you
no
guys
Black
do?
History.
Is it
A lot of
February?
emo bands
Oh, wait a damn minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
Where was this trivia?
at a bar on Mackland
Okay.
called the Mac.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, very creative.
How
Yeah.
did you all pick that for date night?
That
Do
was
tell.
cute. You guys had date
We were
night?
here working till about 8 last night.
Aw, adorbs.
And it was close. And he knew a guy that ran the trivia.
Who
Oh,
paid
and
for
you still
dinner?
lost?
What?
Who paid for dinner?
We won it. We won it. They gave us
Oh,
certificates.
you actually won.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Trivia.
Oh, you guys
You
won
left
trivia.
that
Well,
part
we
out.
won a few rounds, and
Oh,
that
okay.
paid
Oh,
for
they
our
gave
meal.
you things for winning those
Like
rounds?
$30.
What did you
Hey, man,
eat?
what the hell? Why y'all didn't tell us?
You were gone.
What did you eat?
Maybe work here till 8 p.m. and you'll get to go next time.
He has writing to do.
Yeah, Jeff had some very healthy fries
Oh,
with an
salad
entire
fries, my
an
favorite.
entire trash can filled of toppings dumped on top of them.
Boys, we're gonna have to talk.
Buffalo wings. Oh no, I got a
I need
email.
you to live past 45.
We got an email. So the chiropractors fixed my back. Chiropractors fixed my back basically, and currently real close with a gym that I'm going to be working out at. So there you go.
Yeah.
I say this though. I think that if you want to do that, then do it. Live your life, man.
He's trying to get top billing. It's going to be the Travis Terrell show featuring Jada Foster. All of our stuff is just going to be Jada's like, it worked. Idiots. Idiots.
Yeah,
Seriously.
Chris,
Once you're gone, the black comics will dry up.
that's
Black
true.
comics
There will be
do
no more
love-
black comics with no Chris.
I
Evans.
was speaking of. I hope you
Good luck
all,
finding my contact list.
I'll get it from your lady friend.
I know that's,
Like she
that's the
knows
best way you
anything
do
that
it.
has
I'll pay
anything
her.
to do with my work.
Oh.
Does that matter to
I
you
love
guys?
that
By
it's
the
a
way,
genuine
let's
laugh.
let's make that small transition, if we will. And you don't have to go too personal with it, but does that matter to you, even going forward? It doesn't have to even be
No.
what we're currently doing, but does it really matter to you going forward that your significant other is at least remotely interested in what you do? For
Oh
a
yeah,
living?
she cares and is glad everything's working out.
Now,
or
does she
whatever,
care
but
about what you do, or she care because you're happy doing it?
the content? Oh, I'm sure she wants me to be happy. Yeah, I would think that. But no, I mean, she doesn't. We do how many hours of like 20 something hours of whatever a week, and she doesn't have time to listen to that. And it's not. If she was a podcast person and was listening to like 6 other podcasts, I'd be like, hey, why don't you get a little something of theirs? But then it is nice to have some separation where you don't have to go home and explain what you said 10 hours ago during a 3-hour broadcast where
That's
you don't
real.
remember half the stuff you said, and maybe it would mean something different to them too. So support good. Like, it's awesome. She comes to all our events and stuff too. So, but yeah, I don't need her to be a fan. No.
Do you need
Yeah.
your significant other to you? You're an actress. You're an artist. Is it important for your significant other? And again, I think your partners respect what you do.
Yeah.
But does it matter that they take any liking to what you do?
No, well, what I need is support. I don't need him to be interested. So if I'm with someone and they're telling me like, I don't want you to do this, I don't want you to do this, I don't want you to do this, it makes me uncomfortable because like I am doing sex scenes with people, right? I am working with 3 men whenever I come on air most of the time. And so the fact that he trusts me and then he's supportive, I don't really care
enough.
if he's like he just listened to one of the podcasts we did for the first time a week ago and he felt bad about it.
He's ahead of my mom.
But I was just like, yeah, there's that part. But I just don't. I like.
He felt bad that he hadn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't need to feel bad.
Yeah, that's what. But he's also interested in the same things, right? So
Right,
he has a
that's true, that
podcast.
helps.
He does stand up. He
Right.
does improv, and so I'm supportive of him. He's
What
supportive.
about
of
stand
me.
up with him? That would get extremely tiresome for me if I was having. That's tough for one person to live through, including the comic. That's what I'm saying. To go through. Because if you're grinding 4, 5, 6 nights a week at open mics,
Yeah.
it blows. And
Right.
you're not. And even if you have really good comics doing open mics, they're not giving you. They're trying out new shit. It's not that fun. Open mics can be fun.
Yeah.
But that kind of repetitive nature would get old real quick. Supporting, and I commend anybody that does that. I think it's more about like, hey, you go do your thing. You don't need to be there for all of them, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I'm not
Big
there.
shows,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
Well, it's just more the one, like, if I can make it out, I'm going to go because he'll come, like, when I do a play, he'll come 2 or 3 times to the play.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's
He's
bonus.
super
That's great of
supportive.
him.
And then, like, if I'm having a tough day with it, he'll run lines with me or.
Really?
And I try
That
not.
is awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome. And then with his jokes, he'll be like, does this work? Does it, like, we're
Really?
definitely like a team and we support each other.
Now that I do find extremely fascinating. I don't know if I am at that part because even when Chris and I do things creatively, I feel like we do it separately. And then when it's like, hey, Chris, 30 minutes of showtime, so I'm gonna do this, and you're gonna do that.
Well,
so I
yeah.
think like
Yeah, but
even
that's
that partnership,
10 plus years
true.
of knowing each other.
That's also
too.
very true. And so I
Right.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't feel comfortable in doing that, but that's interesting. That says a lot about, I would think, a strength of your relationship for him to feel comfortable in that I'm going to write this joke. And we've all talked to comedians. They're relatively insecure people.
Yeah.
I think we can even throw ourselves in there from time to time. But
Yeah.
for him to say, all right, I came up with this joke. I wrote it. I think it's funny. And now I'm going to share it with my significant other before anyone else hears it.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's impressive. I really do think that's impressive.
Yeah, what I'm learning. Like, it wasn't easy. Like, when we
Sure.
collaborate on a project, like, there's tears sometimes. Like, I'm frustrated because, like, he has a certain way of doing things and then I have a certain way of doing things. So it is frustrating. But then, like, we're planning the show for October 6th.
Right.
Right? And I'm like, these are the things that I'm doing. These are the things that you are doing. And he doesn't have a lot of time right now. So I'm taking the reins on it. And I have more experience event planning and then like organizing talent and getting everyone, creating a community of people that I know are going to get along. And he is learning that still. So we have, it takes more than anything, trust. It's like he has to trust my artist. I have to trust his artist. And then if we don't, we have a conversation. I don't think I've talked this much with one person in my entire life.
It has to do with your age, though, right?
Well,
And maybe the perfect partner too.
Yeah, like I think we think similar, and we have a very like specific way we want to be seen in the world, and then we also
Interesting.
have like a strong care about how we treat people and treat other people.
Sure.
So with those things in mind, it makes it a little bit easier to create and support each other.
I'm going to do the Anna Faris, Chris Pratt scenario with you guys, and I'm curious to hear your feedback. Could you ever see yourself in a situation where your partner overshadows you as far as career is concerned?
Oh, he already is right now.
And would you, how are you handling it, or how would you handle it? Or does that matter to you at all? Do you think you could survive or handle or thrive in a relationship where your significant other gets a ton of the attention for the work or the career that they have?
I think that so long as I have his attention, it's not going to matter.
Interesting.
Yeah, like if he's worked his ass off and he's getting this attention, like right now, he's working in a job where he's getting a lot of attention.
Right.
And he's making really good money. Like I'm maybe making 0.2% of what he's making.
Right.
Because I've just started doing this full time, like 8-9 months ago.
Right.
So there's that happening.
Right.
And all I do is say, like, I'm insecure about this. This is really bothering me. And he knows me well enough to know if there's friction happening between us, the flare up is coming from like where I'm at. But what's fantastic is that he is like, this is not where you're going to be forever. You are going to push past this because I've seen what you're capable of.
I don't know. You're boning Dr. Phil. There
Yeah.
You go.
Well, I mean, that's exactly
Listen,
what
Jada,
it is.
the reality of the situation, you need to work harder,
Yeah.
pay attention more, and listen to me. Do you understand?
I always find those dynamics.
Dr. Phil's an
though,
easy impersonator.
Yeah,
really
I
is.
mean that's how
Yeah.
Alex sounds like in bed.
I'm gonna
Anyway,
speak like
in
Mark.
normal day life he
Wow.
doesn't, but
Yeah.
he
To the
definitely
left
takes
a
on.
little more, Jada.
You better
exactly.
toot that ass up.
Yeah,
Toot it up now, woman.
totally.
No, I find that aspect very fascinating. I don't think I would consider myself. I think I would be jealous for different reasons. Like, so I think when guys say they aren't jealous in a relationship, that means you probably don't care. I mean, so I think guys are jealous. I think you're jealous. I think guys are jealous.
Other dudes
But when
are-
I say jealous, I mean I don't mean
weak,
like
man.
you are going
Like-
to go out and bash a guy in the face because he gave your girl a coaster at a bar. No, I'm talking about like you.
Speaking from experience, Travis,
Right.
that is very specific. That is a very specific
At an
situation.
Arby's in Jefferson City.
Yeah.
No, but I do think like you obviously desire the attention of your girlfriend, and I don't think she's going out of your way to offer attention elsewhere. But if you're out with your girl and a couple guys look at your girl and give her the look, you feel a particular way. You're not gonna
it's like,
you're not
come
gonna
on,
bash
man.
their face in, but you're like, huh. There are guys that are checking out my
Well,
woman.
there's social media stuff too, where just like you see it, where it's like, I know what you're doing. You're lame. Like it's like our exes that like only the pictures with that person in it.
Yeah.
Consistently. Are you aware of this?
Like
does
when
it-
they
totally.
post something
Sure.
and the ex
I'm
comes
like,
along
that's
and likes
fine
it.
if you guys are friends. I truly don't care. Like I'm not offended or what do you call it? Or bothered by or threatened
yeah.
in
Right.
any way whatsoever. But if there's a pattern of like, okay, this is like the 10th time in a row that this one, and they're like one of the first 5. It's so stupid for me to say that out loud.
Yeah.
But it's funny, and it's one of those things where I'm like, kind of weaselly, right?
I've never been in a situation where I've had to be confrontational about being jealous. But
I would
I've
never.
been-
I couldn't bring myself to do it over social media.
No,
Like,
definitely I couldn't do that
No.
over social media. And again, I think that's only where I think I've always said, as long as it doesn't get to the line of disrespect.
Well, yeah,
like
but
I
is
said, at the
that
end of the day,
disrespect?
It's totally.
but that's the
it's
thing.
like
It's like, so if you're
passive
liking, I'm
disrespect.
not
Yeah,
going to.
you're exactly right.
But so then that's my question. Then would you then consider that disrespect if a guy perpetually, who was an ex,
Mm-hmm.
liked your pictures,
her pictures
consistently
when they were only her.
That's
when
what he's
they're only
saying.
hers.
He
So you-
experiences.
So you say that, and I'm not even trying to call you
no,
out.
I
but I'm
just
saying
find it
is
to be
that's-
interesting.
Would you find that disrespectful though? You say
Disrespectful?
interesting as
It's
a way of saying that you feel like it's disrespectful.
It's a form of them looking like a bitch. Like it's like you look really weak right now. Right?
Do you think responding, if any way, shape, or form, and I'm not saying, hey, pick up the
no,
phone and
because
call
they
that guy.
win. They win. If
No.
Chris is like, "Fuck
And
you,
not
stop
necessarily
liking
just
my
me. This
ladies."
is
That would
hypothetical.
you see the guy on the street pulling him aside. Would you
just
ever
say
do that?
something. No, if there were like comments or something like that, no. Hitting the like button.
That's
you're
it?
Fine. Yeah.
Interesting.
Not fine. I think I have an opinion of if someone does that. You know what I mean?
you're rightfully
I'm like,
entitled to have
"Hey,
that. I
little
agree.
bit of bitch.
And see now, and again, as I get older,
Well, just like it feels like it's like you already took the L.
absolutely,
Like,
absolutely.
Why are you still rooting for this team?
If you saw that guy out though physically, you wouldn't do anything.
No, nothing. Not
Jada,
one
if you
thing.
saw that girl out, And
Now-
every time
now-
he and look, we've
Now,
seen,
if
and we've
something
seen
was-
your boyfriend.
If something was said, if something was said, then there would be a little more of kindling built up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there would be it'd be quicker to
It would
light
be
the
like,
fire.
Fuck
what if
that
he came
dude
into
you're
the
with.
right? Or better yet, what if
I'll
you're like
treat
at a
you
bar
better.
and or if you're at a
Oh,
bar, you
please.
bump into him and he goes,
People are so
he goes, "Oh, what's up, Red Star Fox?" Says nothing to you.
Oh, I would laugh. I'd be like, you're caught in somewhere.
Here's the thing, Jada. Chris doesn't laugh too often in the sense that he will kindly escort you to a place in the bar
No, I'll
and
tell-
have
if
a
I know.
terse discussion with
He
your
reminds
current
me
behavior.
so much. I'm going to say this, and this is a compliment. You remind me so much of my former professional kickboxing father. He was not intimidated by anyone because he knew what he could do. So it was always
I
these,
know tough people.
these
and it's
little
like,
chats. It was like, we're just going to go over to the. Let me just
That's
tell you
Chris.
what's going to
well,
happen.
there's no
That's
need
Chris.
to. If you see a guy telling somebody, "I'm gonna beat your ass," like it is real simple to go fight. It is so simple.
Very true.
You quietly walk out
But
of the
the
door
challenge
and you get
is
it
to
going. No,
diffuse
you don't need
it.
to tell everybody about it.
Oh.
If you really want to fight, it takes 10 seconds.
Really?
Like, tap him.
No,
do you want to
he's
go?
true.
No, I'm saying
He's
like,
right.
You don't. It doesn't. There's no build up to it. You just go do it.
This
like
is a
there's no-
language I don't even
No,
understand.
but that's why it's so stupid to act like that because you don't really want to do it. Your dog like
Yeah.
barking a bunch where it's like even like out of shape, anything else. I know whatever bullshit I'm kidding.
know
with.
what's necessary.
I know what tough people act like because I've been
There you
around
go.
them.
There
I'm
you
not
go.
one myself on that level, on
Right.
that high level. But I know how they act, and it's like, say what you want about me or whatever. It's like I've been involved in enough where it's like I'm going to get out of this fine. Or if you're really a tough person, we're probably not going to be having this conversation anyway. We're just going to move on and do our
Right.
go past it.
No, so I'm
But yeah,
curious-
I'm very direct with people. Be like, listen, I don't want to talk about your shit. I dealt with this recently. There was some social media stuff happening. Somebody was sending messages. I was like, I'm putting an end to this. And I said something. I was like, no bullshit. It's the only time you'll ever hear from me. This will not end well if this continues. Do not continue this. Do you understand? Hope so. Have a good time. Or, like just politely, like,
Yeah.
let's not do this anymore. And it diffused it.
Now, Jada,
Yeah.
I'm gonna spin this on you. So you, as Jeff and Chris frequently point out on our morning show and podcast, have a very attractive boyfriend.
What?
And
That's
so-
your thing.
What? Huh?
That is absolutely
Yeah, they
Travis
don't really
Terrell.
say anything.
That's,
It's Travis.
okay, but
Travis
so-
is in love with my lover.
I mean, seriously, he
Get a
is.
room.
I mean, come on.
Oh, you should see his new headshot.
No, don't. You
If you really want it.
Send to my
Travis can
Gmail.
take a headshot
Send to my
from him.
Gmail. Hey, I'm about to say I'm gonna start catfishing women and using his picture as my profile.
I'm
going
sure
forward.
he won't mind.
Yes.
He's going to listen to this.
But with that
because
being
he's,
said,
Oh,
if
scroll
let me
that.
see.
Look.
Hey man, he even got facial hair now. When did he get facial hair? That
He
ain't
grew
fair.
it out for the photo.
Look at him. He is so healthy looking.
Put that damn phone
Okay,
down.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wait.
But if-
Here's the best one. This is
So
the
now
one you're
the-
going to love.
gosh, he does. Oh my goodness. Look at his shoulders, Chris. Chris, his shoulders and hair, they're amazing.
Very handsome guy.
So with that being said, so he puts that on. Say he puts that picture on Instagram,
Yeah.
right? And it gets its normal likes.
Uh-huh.
But you go through a few of his pictures and you notice one person just consistently likes it. Oh, it's an ex from a few years ago, whatever. Then you see said woman out in these streets, and she sees you
In
two out.
these streets, not those streets.
Yeah, and she sees you two out, and she says hello to him. Says nothing to you. How does Jada respond?
We actually had this experience. But
Here
it
we
wasn't
go.
social media. He was before he started consulting at the company he's with now, he was managing a co-working space. And so that
Okay.
means he interacts with new clients.
Yeah, he
and there was this one individual who met him and he had to set up all of her like passwords and her space and all of these things.
Right.
And she was a life coach. And she's like talking to him and he comes home like they have a meeting, right? And he comes home and he's like, babe, I think this girl was like vibing me out and it felt a little weird. I was like, well, were you vibing too? Because sometimes people sometimes it happens. Sometimes you flirt, you don't mean to, and then someone who isn't familiar with it, they'll pick up on it and be like, oh my God, he's into me. You know,
Right,
it happens.
right, sure.
It's totally human. And he's like, I don't know, maybe. And I was like, well, just see, maybe you're seeing and reading into something that isn't happening.
Okay.
So then the next day, she approaches him again and he starts noticing the same vibe off of her.
Uh-oh.
And then he's like, he drops the I have a girlfriend, and her face shifts, her body shifts. She like shuts down.
Yep.
And doesn't acknowledge that he said I have a girlfriend, and then starts talking about something else. So then later, she knows that he's this is like consistent, right?
I know what you're
This is
talking
good.
about too.
You
And
know
it's like-
this? So
yeah, I know. Yeah,
and this
absolutely.
is over like a 3-month period. 2-month period.
Okay.
So then later she creates this event, and it's like an improv event where everyone's gonna make up jokes about farts, and asks Alex to consult them or to like come in and help them set up like a formula for these fart jokes. And I was like, no, I'm still the one that's like, she's probably just being nice.
Okay.
And he's like, no, Jada, like, no, this is getting weird. And then I'm like, no, we'll just see. So he says, no, I'm busy. My girlfriend and I are going out of town.
To just nail the point
Yeah, to
home.
just
be
one
like,
more
hey,
time,
look,
the second
not only can
time.
I not do this, but again, I'm going to be spending my
Oh.
free time with the person I'm presently
So
dating.
this is the third time, and
Okay.
I'm almost done with
Okay.
this behavior.
Okay.
Almost done. So he sends her a message, and then she hits him back with an invite after he says no and says, I'm going to be making food. We're going to be making chili and making fart jokes. Would you want to come to this thing? And he's like, and finally at this point, I was like, okay, babe, I was wrong. You were right. Like, this is too much. Then
there's more.
Oh,
then so he messages her at this point. It was like, it sounds like something my girlfriend would really enjoy, but we're out of town.
That's
I will not
hilarious.
be able to go. So she's completely ignoring the no. So it's not just men who ignore no's. Women also
Oh,
ignore
yeah.
no's.
Okay.
Let's just call that out. The feminist in me needs to call that out.
Okay.
So then I get done with Harvey. I do a play at the Florissant Civic Center. Afterwards, there's a party at the co-working lab where he used to work at this point.
Okay.
So he had been working for the new company he's with now. We go to the co-working lab, and I see this person come down the stairs, and I have like full, you guys know, like I have full makeup done, hair done, like I look good.
Right.
It's 1940s, 1950s good, but I look good.
Right.
So
Good year. I remember that decade.
right.
Good time for
So
us.
she
Wild
comes
times.
down the stairs with another person who I believe was her intended for the evening. And
I love that. I love that term.
and sees him, even though I'm standing right there, passes by me, hugs him, holds him by the waist, and stares at him and talks to him. Oh my God, I miss you so much.
Oh,
They've
no.
literally had 3 conversations.
Oh, no.
And
Oh,
Alex
boy.
is just looking at me.
Poor guy.
And I was like,
poor guy.
and so what I do,
Oh, this is good.
yeah, so I just stand there. I think it's a Chris approach. I just stand there.
That's what we're going to call it, the
And
Chris
Alex
method.
is like, so-and-so, this is my girlfriend, Jada. And she looks at me, and
No.
the shift, the face, like she goes dark. So her face is
She's a
like
sister?
No.
Oh, sorry.
I was
Had
about
to
to
check.
say.
She
oh,
is
okay, sure,
like
Chris.
her
Girl.
no, her energy drops. She looks at me. She sticks out her hand, gives me the
Mincy little
weakest,
paw.
saddest
Did she really,
handshake.
like, do, like,
Oh,
the-
it was this, Travis.
Not
it was this.
the front hand. Let me
Yeah.
grab your fingertips.
It was like,
handshake.
I know he told me you're real, but you're not fucking real. But I'm gonna
So you
pretend
gonna
like you're
hug
real.
somebody you done had
So
3
she
damn
does
conversation with? Hey, ho, you gonna shake my fingertips? Ah, shoot, Jada fired up.
So
and don't take this to the girl. Jada's not small either.
No.
No,
Jada-
no.
5'10".
Jada's got an athletic build.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll get you.
So she shakes my hand, and then I was like, Katie, I've heard about you. It's very nice to meet
I
you.
love it.
Kinda
I
Yeah.
love it. I like that.
Just so you
I was
know,
like, it's
I know
wonderful.
what you are.
Yeah, it's very nice to meet you. And then she's just staring at me the whole time we're in a conversation. It's 4 people. And it's not just like a gaze every once in a while. It's up and down, up and down, up and down.
I'm sorry, like this behavior, like your boyfriend, I'm sure is a true catch, but bitch, move on.
That's
There are
totally
so
what it
many
was. I
people
was like, there are
available.
8 billion people on this planet.
Yeah,
you
it just
are
doesn't make
like,
sense.
go.
No, that's pretty
And
funny.
also, anyone that says like, I don't know, I am a life coach. there are some people I trust. I have very dear friends that do this, but people that just get out of school and they're like 22, 23 years old and they're like, I'm a life coach. Tell me about the life.
Right.
First of all, how are you living life as
ever
a
had
life
your power
coach?
shut off?
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't want to talk to you.
Oh, your parents are funding your life coaching business?
Oh, you're like 20 minutes from the tow truck taking your car, repossessing, and then you pull out $400 out of your ass?
Totally.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Right.
Now we can talk.
Right.
No, guru is a signifier to me as well.
Yeah.
That I want to do
real.
a bit on this for the show, but yeah, guru, I really need to flesh this out because
I'll
I'm sure
help.
there are talented people that call themselves guru, but immediate red flag with me. And we've had some recent experience with somebody
Totally.
like this where they're like, well, I
Oh,
do
my
everything, or you do
God.
this and that. And it's like, I don't think you do. And I think that maybe you've melded together some personality traits that you've seen with other successful people. And then you go to someone who doesn't have time to do something menial, and
Right.
then you blow up the significance of said thing you did for them.
Right.
No,
Right.
you're exactly.
Well, I've
Telling
lived,
somebody to use their Google Calendar. Being
absolutely. No, I mean, the
No,
guru
that's
thing is
definitely-
really tricky, and it's a very it's very real. It's a very real thing. I have lived in communities that were based in a Hindu religious belief system. So that was from the ashram to the college I went to.
Yeah.
And supposedly, or to my understanding, the word guru is something that is given to the person. The person doesn't create that for themselves.
Correct. Like you're
It's
supposed to be a
something-
black belt in whatever you do, and like a true black belt in like a martial arts sense, like there's no
Right.
debating it. Like there's no
Right.
fucking around with it. But like YouTube, like dragon belt taekwondo guy, and he's like, doing the fake hits at his students, and they fall to the ground.
Right.
And then put him in the ring with like a high school wrestler, and it's over in like 2 sets. That's not reality for that press. You know what I mean when I say
Right.
that? So whenever these people kind of anoint themselves these gurus or experts or whatever, I'm just like, I'm going to really need you. There are those that exist, but too many people
But
run
how many
with
times
that
have you
title.
seen situations where people who you know are great at what they do, that they turn to themselves and they call themselves experts or gurus? Like there are people who I respect in the entertainment industry, and not at any point in their career did they ever consider themselves an expert.
Oh,
So
talk
anybody
to the
who
best
does that,
stand-ups, you would be like,
Right.
you are an expert in stand-up
They're like,
comedy. They would be
no.
like, what?
no, right,
No.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that for me, like until the day I hear Kevin Hart or Eddie Murphy or Jerry Seinfeld call themselves an expert, I see that there are greats who are people who are very good at their job. The Peyton Mannings, the Tom Brady's, Aaron Rodgers, these athletes. Like I've never heard them call themselves experts.
Right.
Like, hey, I was very good at what I did with the God-given abilities and the hard work that I had. But I'm always hesitant, like Chris just said, to be in a room with someone who's like, well, I'm an expert in this field. Like, oh,
Well, I think there's like
okay.
anyone that
Right.
calls themselves anything that alludes to the idea that they have somehow championed or they've they've transcended their need to continue educating themselves
Right.
on the thing. I'm just going to call bullshit, and I
Sure.
wouldn't want to work
I
with those
agree.
people anyway.
I agree.
You can call yourself a professional. I can see that,
There you
but
go.
to say I'm an expert, that just means you've hit an end point in your career, and you can now, I don't know,
So in other
inflate
words,
your
If
ego
you
even
make more
more.
money off it and it's real, that's fine. But yeah.
so just to put a bow on it, Jada, when you see this hoe in the street, you slapping the shit out of her?
No, I didn't. I
rats.
was just like, and
Damn, I
as
thought I was
like
gonna
she
get a
was
cat
leaving,
fight
I
out of
was
this.
like, it was very nice to meet you. And then afterwards, Alex and I were just like, oh my God, like I got to experience. It was kind of a cool,
dope.
actually, it's not kind of, it was a cool experience to have together because it was another insight into my person's intuition, like how he operates in that situation. And ultimately, like how respectful we are of people, even whenever we know they're a little backwards.
Now that aspect I wouldn't have thought about. Now that's a good point. You did get an opportunity to essentially and to no effort of your own put your boyfriend in a spot. Like, okay, I wouldn't say it was a test for your relationship, but to see him respond in the respectful and appropriate manner in which he did in that given moment, because that's something you can't rehearse.
No.
You can sit up here and talk about all the hypothetical situations you want until you're in that type of situation. And that situation being so ridiculous,
Oh my
and for him
gosh,
to
oh.
respond in that manner, he passed the test he didn't even
Totally.
know he was taking.
Well, he's a really good person. He's more pure of heart than I am. That's for
See,
sure.
Chris, I told you, man, I should have got after him first. Though.
Yeah, you should have.
Someday. Someday.
I'll let you marry us. You can somehow be involved in that
That would be
partnership.
my
Good
Yes.
times. Do me a favor. Check out Barrel Beard and Tattoo Oil. Fantastic for your skin and hair. And also check out Presence Float Center. WAL. It's a promo code, $10 off your next float. Jada, thank you. Travis.
Thank you so much.
A plus,
Such a
Chris.
pleasure.
No, that's for the other thing.
Oh.
Jeff Jones in the house too. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks,
See you guys
Jeffy.
soon.